Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. That didn't act as normal when I was already added to the stream. Anywho, let me look at the chat. Blue West, good morning. Cheryl Lynn, Mel, Colleen, Mike, good morning. Sapphire, how are y'all doing this morning? Oh my goodness, guys. I'm still cannot log into my Google account. I still haven't got an email from them. They said it would be 2 to 5 days, but hopefully I can recover my account so I can get logged back into my YouTube. I can't even get my daggone studio to do anything. It's been so frustrating. This morning we're going to talk about Marilyn Manson. I got us an article with the timeline. Recently people have spoken out about him being abusive. Several women have. So we're going to read up about that. I just kind of glanced at the articles because I just wanted to save it and read with y'all. You're locked out. Yes, I can't get into my Coffee with CC YouTube account. I don't even know how it's letting me stream. I was still logged in StreamYards, I guess. I did notice that it is not notifying anyone because I'm on my Funny Farm channel. And it didn't notify me that I set up a live stream. Now I see that it's notified that I went live 2 minutes ago. I do have a backup channel. Thank you, Sapphire. Let me go highlight that. Y'all subscribe to that. Even if I recover this account and can get back in it, I'm still going to be uploading videos on the other channel. I want to get that channel built up just in case, something was to happen. I'm so upset, guys. I'm so upset over my Google account and that crazy drama that's been going on here. I don't even want to talk about it, but it's really bothered me. Really, really bad. I don't even want to talk about it. I'll start crying. I don't even know why. Hey, Tracy, how are you? Melanie, Christina. Anyhow, let's talk about Marilyn Manson. Now, this weirdo has been very vocal, from what I understand, about being abusive to women. I don't know who in the world would want to go out with Marilyn Manson. He is uglier than sin. I could bet you my bottom dollar, if he wasn't famous, didn't have money, none of those girls would have gave him the time of day, because he's ugly as sin. And he's just a weirdo. Okay. So there's been several actresses that spoke out about him. Rachel Wood, she spoke out about him. Esme Bianco, she played on the Game of Thrones. She said that she was abused by him. Now, he would abuse the women that he was dating, from my understanding. Hold on one sec, guys. I got a cough. Okay. Let me look at my chat before I start. Oh, yeah. If anyone wants to call in and give their opinion about Marilyn Manson, I'll put the link in the chat here, because I don't really know a lot about him, just that he is a weirdo. Okay. Earlier this month, Westworld star Rachel Wood named Marilyn Manson as her alleged abuser. I'm here to expose this dangerous man and call out the many industries that have enabled him before he ruins any more lives. I stand with the many victims who will no longer be silent, she shared through Instagram on February 1st. Wood and Manson had a relationship when the actress was just 18 and Manson was 36, and the pair were briefly engaged in 2010. Manson denied the allegations in his own Instagram statement. Obviously, my art and my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality, he wrote. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like minded partners, regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misinterpret the past that is the truth. Oh my goodness, someone opened up my door. Smokey. Okay, hold on one second. Because I'm going to read from this other article and go back to my chat here. After years of speculation, okay, we already read that. So the revelation, after Wood put that on Instagram, Evan Wood, the revelation provoked a number of women to come forward, sharing their own stories of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse and harassment allegedly experienced at the hands of the shock rocker. You know what I was just thinking? Maybe y'all would like to see a picture. Let me get it pulled up. Let me get y'all a picture before I start with this. Okay. Let's try and take down the pinned comment here. Oh, it's not wanting to share now. Okay, here we go. Oh, I was going to turn on my camera. I did get ready this one. Hey guys, here I am. Okay. Although the news that Marilyn Manson has an alleged history of abusing women was met with no surprise, for stories about the way Manson has treated women have long been publicized, often by Manson himself. It's harrowing, I can't say that word, and shameful that a culture we anonymously chalked Manson's behavior down to the musicians being an eccentric, freaky artist instead of calling it for what it is, abuse. Smokey. Oh my goodness. That dog runs in and out. Sorry, guys. These stories span back as far as 1998. Let's take a look at the timeline of abuse. February 1998. The long hard road out of hell is Manson's autobiography. Manson's autobiography is littered with stories of the musician mistreating women and fans. Tales of his sexual escapades were framed in the context of consent, though the nature of the acts are vile and callous. There are recounts of Manson burning off pubic hair of groupies. Jesus mercy, with a cigarette lighter, forcing a number of groupies to confess their sins while strapped to a makeshift torture device, encouraging his bandmates to take part in a game that involved spitting on groupies. In chapter 13 of the book, Manson details an incident that took place in a Miami recording studio involving a deaf fan. The incident first saw Manson and his bandmates cover the woman in meat. Manson then asked bandmates Madonna Wayne Gacy and Twiggy Ramirez to scotch tape their penises and challenged the women to fit them into their mouth. After having sex with multiple band members, Manson and another bandmate urinated on her. He is a complete weirdo, y'all. This guy's a monster. Okay, November 1998. Marilyn Manson was involved in an altercation with then executive editor of Spin magazine. In a lawsuit, Marks alleged that Manson threatened to kill him and his family in a dispute over the magazine's cover. In a follow-up interview with Rolling Stones, Marilyn Manson claimed that he got arrested for putting a gun in the mouth of an editor of Spin, and hid from the law at Trump Tower. He was not arrested, and the lawsuit was settled out of court. He should have been cuffed and stuffed and then went to jail for that. He is freaking sickening. Okay. In December, let's see, August 2001, Manson was charged with assault and sexual misconduct after allegedly rubbing his crotch on the head of a security guard in Detroit. He pleaded no contest to lesser charges of disorderly conduct and assault and battery and received a $4,000 fine. In December that year, Manson was also sued by a Minneapolis security guard who claimed the rocker did the same thing. A jury found Manson not liable in the suit, which alleged battery and emotional distress. So they let him by, with this crap time after time. April 2002, Marilyn Manson is sued for wrongful death by the mother of Jennifer Syme, I think it's Syme, partner to actor Keanu Reeves, who died in a car accident after he allegedly gave her drugs. Marilyn Manson denies the claims that he provided Jennifer with drugs, citing that the suit was completely without merit. Manson believes that the lawsuit is completely unfounded and is investigating an immediate countersuit against St. John for slander, harassment, and abuse of the legal process. A statement on Manson's website read, "This lawsuit, which is completely without merit, will not bring back Jennifer's life. It serves only to reopen the wounds and the pain felt by all who love Jennifer. It is a pity that St. John sullies her own daughter's reputation by filing this baseless claim." After Manson and his 5 guests finished an evening at the movies, followed by a quiet get-together at his home, he made sure Jennifer received a safe ride home from a designated driver and went to sleep. Yeah, bullshit. June 2009. In an infamous interview with Spin, Manson says he self-harmed following his breakup with Evan Rachel Wood, relaying fantasies he had about hurting her. "I have fantasies every day about smashing her skull with a sledgehammer," he is quoted. Goodness gracious. You know what? If he wasn't famous and wasn't in the public eye, he would probably be a freaking serial killer, y'all. For real. I never knew these things about him. I don't follow him. I know one song. That song, Sweet Dreams, he came out with, redone. That's it. Okay, following the interview, Manson's team released a statement claiming the sledgehammer comment was obviously a theatrical rock star interview promoting a new record and not a factual account. The fact that Evan and Manson got engaged 6 months after this interview would indicate that no one took this literally. He was abusing her. July 2009. In a since-deleted blog post, Manson threatened violence against music journalists. "I'm far different from the soon-to-be murdered in their home. Press has decided to fabricate," he wrote at the time. "If one more journalist makes a cavalier statement about me and my band, I will personally, or with my fans' help, greet them at their home and discover just how much they believe in their freedom of speech." So he is threatening the lives of journalists that critique him. No, I guess nothing was done about that either. November 2016. The first time Evan Rachel Wood acknowledges being raped by a significant other while we were together in an interview with Rolling Stone. The interview saw her divulge that she experienced physical, psychological, sexual abuse at the hands of a partner, though she did not identify the name of her abuser. October 2017. Manson's longtime bassist, Twiggy Ramirez, real name Geordie White, is accused of rape by jackoff Jill singer Jessica Adams. Following the accusations coming to light, Manson released a statement claiming he knew nothing about these allegations until very recently and was saddened for the alleged survivors' obvious distress. Bullshit. He was just mad that it got out into the public. After being fired from the Marilyn Manson fold, Ramirez released a statement claiming to have only recently been made aware of these allegations from over 20 years ago, and maintains, I do not condone non-consensual sex of any kind. February 2018. Evan Rachel Wood delivers a testimony before Congress detailing her experience of sexual assault, domestic violence at the hands of an unidentified partner. My experience with domestic violence was this, she says. The toxic, mental, physical, and sexual abuse, which started slow but escalated over time, including threats against my life, severe gaslighting and brainwashing, waking up to the man that claimed to love me, raping what he believed to be my unconscious body. He's a regular freaking Ted Bundy. In a sense, deleted, let's see. The same month, House actress Charlene, I think it's Yee, accused Manson of harassing women and making constant racist comments on the set of the production. In a sense, deleted tweet that Manson was a huge fan of the show and visited the cast while filming the final season, where he harassed just about every woman, asking us if we were going to scissor, rhino, and called me a Chinaman. I genuinely hope he gets help, she wrote. He's a complete weirdo, and that people's just like giving him a free pass with this kind of behavior. They are, because he has money. Okay, in August 2018, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office releases a court filing declining to pursue a case of alleged sexual assault against Marilyn Manson. The district attorney declined the case because the statute of limitations had expired in absence of cooperation, according to the court filing. Under current policy, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office must investigate any claim of sexual abuse, no matter how outlandish. It is not surprising that the district attorney, after investigation, summarily rejected the claims made in a police report filed by a former acquaintance against Brian Warner, aka Marilyn Manson. The singer's attorney, Howard E. King, told The Hollywood Reporter. The allegations made to police were and are categorically denied by Mr. Warner, and we are either completely delusional or part of a calculated attempt to generate publicity for the claimant's business of selling Marilyn Manson memorabilia. The police report that spurred the investigation was accompanied by the woman's press release and other attempts to generate publicity that fraudulently claimed that she was held captive by Mr. Warner for 48 hours in 2011. Any claim of sexual impropriety or imprisonment at that or any other time is false. All these people couldn't be lying against him. Now, come on now. April 2019. On April 23rd, Evan Rachel Wood testified in front of the California Senate California Senate Public Safety Committee in support of the Phoenix Act. The act, which was signed by Gavin Newsom October 7th, extends the statute of limitations on domestic violence felonies from 3 to 5 years. It also requires police officers to undertake more training on intimate partner violence. During her testament in front of the state Senate, Wood detailed that she had been groomed by an older man when she was 18. He cut off me from my close friends and family one by one by exhibiting rage in some form or another when I was in contact with them, she said during her testimony. He had bouts of extreme jealousy, which would often result in him wrecking our home, cornering me in a room, and threatening me. That's the way abusers do. They want to isolate you from everyone that loves you and cares about you. They don't want anyone knowing that they're abusing you. Freaking cowards. Okay. Wood detailed that her abuser left her terrified for her life using techniques like starvation, sleep deprivation, and threatening her life. The fear of being judged by society is debilitating, and the fear of retaliation from my abuser is paralyzing, she said. I have been diagnosed with complex PTSD, including disassociation, panic attacks, night terrors, agoraphobia, impulse control, chronic pain in my body, among other symptoms. February 2021. Wood releases her statement identifying Marilyn Manson as her abuser. Vanity Fair publishes accounts of 4 more women who detailed experiences of sexual assault and harassment with Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson issues a statement denying the allegations. Obviously, my art, my life have long been magnets for controversy, but these recent claims about me are horrible distortions of reality. My intimate relationships have always been entirely consensual with like-minded partners. Yeah, right. Regardless of how and why others are now choosing to misrepresent the past that is the truth. Hold on. I got another article. In his book, he talks about how he went to murder his girlfriend, but the plan, it didn't pan out for him, as they say. The plan didn't go through. Let me find it. This is crazy. I got so many articles saved. Let's see. Here's one. Marilyn Manson almost destroyed me. Where did I do with the one about his book? Hold on. Let me find the one about his book because it talks about, he was really going to murder his girlfriend. He was going to burn her up alive, y'all. Yeah. And he had someone helping him, but somehow something went wrong and they backed out of doing it. Let me just find it. I thought I saved that. One second. Let me stop screen sharing. I'm going to go look at my chat for a sec. Was that Marilyn Manson married to an older lady? Red hair on the talk show. He is married to someone now. Okay, right here it is. Marilyn Manson admitted rape threats, murder plot in Autobiography. Okay. Crap. Accused abuser Marilyn Manson previously admitted making rape threats against women who spurred his advances and coming within moments of trying to murder an ex-girlfriend. He is a sick weirdo. Hey, Lisa Irwin. Hey, Carolina girl. I can't get into my account, so you channel members will have to hand out late slips for me until I can get back in. Okay. The shock rocker, who was dropped by his record label this week after numerous accusations of abuse, made startling admissions about his behavior with women in his 1999 autobiography, The the long, hard road out of hell. He even admitted coming close to carrying out the perfect murder of a former bandmate and a lover named Nancy, getting spooked moments before trying to burn her to death in her home in the 1990s. This was the first time I had ever seriously considered murder. She had to die, wrote the 52-year-old rocker, whose real name is Brian Warner. While I don't think it was right to take a human life, I didn't think it was right to deny myself the chance of causing someone to die either, especially someone whose existence meant so little to the world and to herself, he wrote. What a freaking, he is a monster. He is evil. Mm. At the time, taking someone's life seemed like a necessary growing and learning experience, like losing your virginity or having a child. Oh my God, y'all. He's a freaking psycho, y'all. He is another Ted Bundy. Okay. After roping a friend in to help, Manson wrote about how they followed her, cased out her house, figured out her routine before heading to Nancy's Fort Lauderdale home with kerosene, matches, and rags. But as they neared, a homeless man started following them while trying to sell drugs, and they were finally scared off by a series of sirens, heading to an emergency nearby, Manson wrote. After that night, I became too paranoid to kill Nancy, too scared of getting caught and sent to prison, he wrote. I woke up to the fact that I had told too many people of my hatred for her, and even the best plan wasn't good enough to protect us from chance events like passing police cars. Elsewhere, Manson recalled how he and another friend harassed a hot brunette whom they'd both had a crush on, but wouldn't even acknowledge our humanity. I fell back on my usual deviant way of getting a girl's attention. Malicious, asinine behavior, he wrote, saying that they would make threatening calls every day for nearly a month. At first, the calls were harmless, but they quickly grew meaner, he wrote. We're watching you. We'd threaten her at the height of our spite mask lust. You better not leave work tonight because we're going to rape you in the parking lot and then crush you underneath your own car, he wrote. Jesus mercy. Manson came under fire Monday when actress Eva Rachel Wood accused him of being the man who horrifically abused her for years. I was brainwashed and manipulated into submission, the rocker's former fiance wrote in an Instagram post, leading to numerous other accusations against the singer. Manson insisted the accusations were horrible distortions of reality. We all know what he said. His relationships were always consensual. Yeah, right. Now Evan Woods, she was real young when she met Manson. She was going through a hard time, and that's how he lured her in. He preyed on that she was having a hard time at home. She was only like 18, and he was like 36. Let's look at their picture again. She is a really, really pretty lady. He's uglier than sin. Look at that thing. He's a vampire wannabe, y'all. Why's he gotta wear that lipstick like that? Oh, it's so weird. Like, I get wearing that get up for theatrics and things like that. But he's ugly without that makeup. And he's ugly with it on. He's a complete weirdo. I had no idea that Marilyn Manson had been accused of abuse for years. No clue whatsoever. Edward's Cullen at 80. Yeah. I can't believe that these girls are attracted to him. The only reason they were attracted to him is because he's this, weirdo rocker that, is real famous and got all kinds of money. Now, allegedly, his manager, the record company, everyone knew that he was abusive to women and to his fans. He actually urinated, I believe it was on Evan Wood when she was unconscious. If he wasn't in the public eye, he would have done murdered someone, probably several different people. He seems like he has homicidal thoughts every day of his life. He looks at himself by that statement he was talking about, that girl he was going to kill. Like, basically, he didn't feel bad about it because, she was nothing to him. He looks at himself like a god, like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy did. He's a god, and everybody else don't matter. Their lives are not important. Their lives are not valuable. That's the way he thinks. Let me get back over to my chat. I turned my camera off because I wanted to finish my cig. Hey, Will. Have a good day. He is besties with Johnny Depp and is his daughter's godfather. Oh, my goodness. I wouldn't have let him around a freaking animal. I bet he's the type that kills animals or has killed animals in the past. I can't believe that people like him. There's some people that's just crazy about him. How could you be crazy about that thing? With all these abuse allegations, all these women are not lying on him. These are not women that just that he really didn't know. These are women that he dated, had relationships with, most of them. Yeah, he's a wannabe demon. I think he's a devil worshiper. I read something about that. Him worshiping the devil. He strived to be like Lucifer. His role model was Lucifer, he said, from the Bible. Can you believe it? He's pure evil through and through. Will says he's sitting in traffic. He can't comment. Be safe, Will. He was popular when I was young because all the parents hated him and blamed him for Columbine. I remember when I was in 6th grade, he redone that song, Sweet Dreams. That's the only song I know of his. I like that song, but I just never could get into him. I heard back in the day that he had one of his ribs removed so that he could do what to himself. I don't got to say it. I want to read y'all this other story. This Esme Bianco, she spoke out about him, and they put out an article, and it says Marilyn Manson destroyed her life. Let me get a picture of her pulled up. Let me get her picture. She's pretty too. I just cannot. I cannot believe these ladies were attracted to him. Like, I'm in shock. I don't care if he's rich, famous, or not. I wouldn't have gave him the time of day. He's got a dark aura about him. He really does. Just looking at his picture, I don't know. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. When I look at his picture, I just see evil just radiating from him, Okay. Here it is. Let me get it. She's pretty. I've never watched Game of Thrones. Everybody says I should. Okay, Marilyn Manson accuser Esme Bianco speaks out on alleged abuse. Let me go back in. I'll get my camera back on. Get comfy. Okay. Actor Esme Bianco claims she was psychologically, physically, sexually abused by rocker musician Marilyn Manson during a 3-year relationship with him. In an exclusive interview with ABC News, the English actress, known for playing Ross on Game of Thrones, spoke at length about the alleged abuse. I was coerced. I was defrauded. I was transported from the UK to the US. I was harbored, and then I was coerced into involuntary servitude, which included sexual abuse and physical abuse, said Bianco. In a statement to ABC News, Bianco's lawyer, Jay Elwanger, said his client was interviewed by FBI agents in Los Angeles. The FBI is investigating Marilyn Manson, y'all. So that happened last week. Bianco also turned over evidence of alleged abuses by Manson, specifically related to human trafficking and sex crimes, according to Elwanger. The FBI would not confirm or deny if there is an active investigation into Marilyn Manson. Bianco's public abuse allegations follow multiple other allegations from former partners and contacts of Manson who have come forward in recent days. I'd say a lot of these people didn't come forward before now because they were afraid of him. Many posted their accounts through written statements on Instagram, including Westworld actress Evan Rachel Wood, who dated the rocker from 2007 to 2010. Marilyn Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, has sold over 50 million records worldwide and received multiple Grammy nominations over his 32-year musical career. ABC News attempted multiple times to reach Manson's attorney for response to Bianco's allegations, but did not hear back. 2 weeks earlier, Marilyn Manson denied the allegations against him by other accusers like Evan Wood. I'm not going to read his statement again. Esme Bianco was working as a model and a burlesque performer in London in 2005 when she said she was first introduced to Marilyn Manson by his then fiancée, Dita Von Teese, who said she told her that Marilyn wanted to feature her in an upcoming film he was writing. I was a big fan of Marilyn Manson as a teenager, she said. I thought, wow, that's a dream come true. Really, it was a nightmare come true. Over the next 4 years, their working relationship grew, with long phone calls and emails about their mutual interest in music and art, Bianco told ABC News. The actress said she now reflects on the time as Manson's grooming of her and claims he took advantage of the connection she thought she had with him. He would say to me, "You're my soulmate." I truly believed him, Bianco said. I was so ashamed. The first alleged incident involving physical violence occurred in 2009, according to Bianco. She said Manson flew her from London to LA, paying for her flight and hotel room at the Standard Hotel because he wanted her to star in a music video for his song, "I Want to Kill You," like they do in the movies. When Esme arrived at Manson's Hollywood Hills home to start filming, she said she realized there was no film crew to shoot them. Instead, she said Manson wanted them to shoot it themselves using flip cams, a popular recording device used in the mid-2000s. She said he insisted she stay in his home so they could work uninterrupted. I was kept in his home for 3 days, she claimed. I was given nothing to eat. He gave me drugs and alcohol, and I essentially was not allowed to leave. She said Manson would send her text messages when they weren't in the same room, expressing his desire to murder other women, and that he wanted to sneak down to the room where I was sleeping and rape me. I'm telling you, he's a regular Ted Bundy. Bianco detailed to ABC News the extent of the alleged physical abuse, which she said took place during the shooting of the finale of the music video. He locked me in his bedroom, tied me to a wooden prayer kneeler. I was half naked. He would beat me with a whip, she said. He also used a sex toy to shock her and filmed it, according to Bianco. Jesus. Esme provided ABC News with a photo, she says, shows her bloodied, black marked with whiplashes taken during the shoot. I'm so ashamed when I see that photo, she said. Esme Bianco expressed regret that she may have once viewed that photo as art, but now calls it repulsive, that I was so brainwashed into thinking that that wasn't anything but abuse. Over the course of the next 2 years, Esme said their relationship became sexual and that Manson would hide the abuse within sexual acts. He always went too far, she said. The biting, that was 100% non consensual, and he would bite me till I was black and blue, Esme said. Bless her heart. When pressed by ABC why she remained in contact with Manson flying between London and LA after the initial alleged incident of violence, Esme said she thought Manson was in love with her and that the 4 years of friendship had groomed her to believe they had a special kind of relationship. She said there were times when she tried to cut him out of her life, but he would find a way of getting his claws back into me. Yeah, that's the way these abusers do. Um, she admitted she did not understand what she says was happening to her was very, very wrong. She compared her mindset then to that of a cult member who had been indoctrinated. At one point during the interview, she even questioned herself, why didn't I just run? She then answered her own question. It's not until, what psychological abuse and gaslighting does to somebody that you can fathom why I would have stayed. In 2011, wanting to make a change in her personal life in London, she said she accepted Manson's invitation to permanently move to LA and live with him. Her life in his West Hollywood apartment was very controlled, she said, claiming Manson did not allow her to sleep, eat, or leave the apartment without his permission. Esme also described what she said were the physical aspects of the apartment: cold and dark. Manson kept the temperature at 62 degrees and blacked out all the windows, she said. He really thinks he's a freaking vampire, don't he, y'all? According to Esme, Manson required her to abide by his dress code of heels, lingerie, and stockings, and would parade her in front of his entourage. He'd pull at my dress to show them bruises that he had given to me, she claimed. The actress said the final moments of their tumultuous relationship began with Marilyn smashing holes in the apartment walls with an axe because he believed she had put cockroaches in the walls to mess with him. I tried to calm him down, and then he started chasing me with an axe, she said. At that point, I thought he was going to kill me. After secretly arranging for a place to live, Esme says she sneaked out of the apartment while Manson slept. Esme said she did confide in a few close contacts about some of Manson's behavior towards her, but said she did not refer to it as abuse because she didn't understand what that meant at the time. She said it took her 7 years after she left Manson to finally come to terms with what she says she endured. ABC News spoke with Marilyn Manson's former personal assistant, Ashley Walters, who said she saw Manson chase Esme through the West Hollywood apartment with an axe and recalled seeing bruises on Esme's body. But she did not press her about them for fear of upsetting Marilyn Manson. Walters is also one of the nearly a dozen women who posted written statements on social media in the past couple of weeks, claiming claiming varying degrees of physical or emotional abuse by Manson. ABC News also spoke with former contacts within Manson and Esme's social circle during the time in question. One contact declined to be identified for professional reasons, claimed they also saw bruises on Bianco's body, and regretted not standing up to Manson. Fraser Knight has known Esme Bianco since 2000, when they were roommates at Goldsmith University in London. He recalled a phone call he received from Esme after she moved in with Manson. I remember her calling me from inside a cupboard, hiding. She hadn't been allowed to sleep for days on end. Knight said Esme confided in him about the extent of physical and sexual abuse 6 years ago. So she has people that can corroborate, what she is saying, that actually saw the abuse, people that she confided in. And, it's just not people that were in relationships with Manson speaking out. It is people that worked for him, and, some are fans. He's just a terrible, terrible person. Okay. Esme first went public with claims of alleged abuse in 2019 when she testified before the California State Assembly in support of the Phoenix Act, which advocates for survivors of domestic violence. She did not name her alleged abuser at the time, but told legislators that the physical violence was most often disguised in acts of intimacy and was coerced, not consented to. Hey, I can relate to her what she's saying about not understanding why she allowed someone to abuse her. I often ask myself that same question because my first husband was, he beat on me. He was physically abusive, mentally abusive. And I still don't understand why I allowed him to do that. I remember in my mind at the time, I thought that I could never have anybody else. I really thought everything was my fault. He had me thinking I was ugly, I was fat, um, just totally messed up my mind. And he also would isolate me away from my family. He would say horrible things about me and my brother. Wasn't a word of it so. I remember one time he said something about my brother. I'd have to lie when my brother stopped by, either one of my brothers. One time he said something, and I was like, the only reason you say that is because you're that way. And he knocked the hell out of me. I thought he was going to kill me for saying that. And I never said nothing like that again. But finally, I got to the point that I hated him. And when I left him, the next day when I woke up, I felt like something had been lifted off my chest. And I just absolutely did not know what to do with myself because I had been bossed around and controlled and beat on for years by him. So I can totally relate to, and I still don't understand it. Must have been something really terribly wrong in my brain to allow someone to do that to me. And what abusers will do is when you do leave them, they will try to get you back. They'll get their claws back into you. They'll promise you the world. I'm going to change. I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Things are going to be different. They'll buy you things and lure you back in. That's called the honeymoon stage. A cop actually told me that. It's called the honeymoon stage. The honeymoon stage does not last long. Sometimes a few days, sometimes a couple weeks, sometimes it'll last a month. When I went through those stages, it never did last a month. It was like it would last like a week or a few days, and then he was back to his old self. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Esme Bianco, she called it a massive relief to have decided now to name Marilyn Manson as the alleged abuser whom she was referring. I've been carrying this dark secret for so long. At the same time, it was terrifying, she said. I'm still scared of him. I'm still scared of blackmail and other threats. For Esme, It's other victims of abuse that motivated her to speak out. Perhaps I can give strength to another survivor to go and report, she said. I want people who are in this situation right now to know that you are not alone and it is not your fault. Now, let's talk about the human trafficking allegations. This is really interesting. He's had all these thoughts of murder for years, right? He's a rich and powerful man. If he's involved in human trafficking, it'd be easy for him to buy someone and murder them. Because it seems like to me he's just dying to kill someone. And someone like him, with as much money as he got and as much power, it'd be easy for him to do something like that. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if he's buying people and taking them somewhere and murdering them. And who knows? He may very well be doing something like that. Most of these people that have this strong urge to kill, they usually go and kill. Okay. It was only in recent months that Esme said she began to see herself as a victim of human trafficking after speaking with multiple experts in the field. The biggest misconception, especially when you're speaking about sex trafficking, is that it involves little girls from a foreign country coming over to the United States for the purpose of sex, said Mallory Littlejohn, legal director of the Chicago Alliance Against Sexual Exploitation. While that type of trafficking does happen, according to Littlejohn, it is far more common in the United States for someone to be the victim of domestic sex trafficking. What that looks like for people is a lot of grooming. It's a person they think is their significant other, said Littlejohn. Wow, I didn't know that. I wish I had known what I know now, she said Esme, that you can be trafficked by an intimate partner. According to the United States State Department, while it is hard to find reliable statistics on human trafficking due to the hidden nature of the crime, in 2019, a national human trafficking hotline received 136,000 calls, texts, chats, online tips, emails, identified 11,852 potential human trafficking cases, and provided resource and referrals to 3,828 potential victims. Oh, I said that wrong. The human trafficking hotline received 990,000 calls. My bad. I said it wrong earlier. Experts said red flags include extremely possessive behavior, increased isolation. It always starts out as a very loving relationship, and sometimes that possessiveness can be interpreted as love. Yeah, I interpreted how my first husband was so possessive over me. I thought that was love. It's not. That's not love, people. Okay, with the possessiveness also comes kind of a sexagen. I can't say it. Cutting you off from your friends and your family, so that you're not able to step in. If anyone knows what's happening with you, they can't help you. Oh, if no one knows what's happening with you, they can't help you. These people need to check their articles before they publish them, because every one I've read this morning has had like a lot of errors in it. So, for anyone affected by abuse and needing support, call 1-800-799-7233. Or if you're unable to speak safely, you can log on to thehotline.org or text Love Is to 1-866-331-9474. I totally believe her story because she had people to back up what she was saying, people that saw the abuse. Okay, let me get over to my chat. See what y'all are saying. I couldn't see nothing y'all were saying. Ghislaine was a victim too, in my opinion. She thought she was loved by the man who used her to get what she wanted. Uh, I don't look at Ghislaine as a victim, but I mean, if you do, that's okay. You know, we can all have different opinions. I can't stand that woman. I think she is a monster. The way that she lured those young girls in and groomed them. I mean, she might very well be a victim, but in my eyes and mine, she's not. She disgusts me. Hey, Yvonne. Hey, it's a crime shame. So wouldn't that mean she participated in trafficking? Who? Hey, Cheryl T. I told him I would kill him if he touched her again. He knew that I would have. Let me go back up to your other comment, Cheryl. Oh, Cece, I'm so sorry. I have a friend that's husband did the same thing, and I told her no one else would want her. Then he would beat her. I told him I would kill him if he touched her again, and he knew I would have. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I had thoughts of killing my first husband. I did. Yes, I did. He was very abusive to me. He was so abusive. He was an alcoholic, guys. I would have to he would pass out, right? I would tiptoe through the house. I learned how to tiptoe through the house so that I wouldn't wake him up. But he was so abusive, I would have to run and hide in the woods. One time, well, a couple of times I hid in the cornfield, scared to death I was going to get copperhead bit because it's summertime. My little dog, she'd go hide with me. And if he would walk by, sometimes he'd walk right by us, not even see us. He never did catch us when we was hiding. But she wouldn't make a peep. That's how smart that dog was. One time, he put her on top of the refrigerator, and I was crying and begging him to get her down, and she jumped. It didn't break her legs or nothing, but she had trouble with her hip after that. When he did that to my dog, that's when hatred grew in my heart. And little Bear, she's about the size of Chloe, my little Yorkie. One time he was beating me up. He was kicking me in the stomach, the ribs. He was kicked me in the head several times. And that dog came over there and laid on top of my head. I swear on everything I love. And he kicked her. Yeah. And he would throw up my grandfather committing suicide. So my mom's dad committed suicide. A lot of y'all know that. It's been on my channel for a while. When I was about 13, 14 years old. And he would throw that up in my face. He'd say, "You should kill yourself like your papa did." The last time he said that to me, I'd been split up with him. The last and final time I left him, you know, I had a job working at a video store. It had like a little pizza restaurant in it. And he called me and he told me that on the phone. And I cussed him all to hell. And then after that, he came to where I worked at, and my boss said, I could tell you was afraid of him because, like, he was coming in the door as I was going out, just so happened, and I guess I flinched or something. That is, like, one of the only times I've ever called the police on anyone, and I had him escorted off that property. You know, he finally left me alone. He kept bothering me, and that judge told him, "You break this EPO one more time, I'm going to bring you in here and I'm going to give you a year on each charge." And she extended my EPO for a year. They're only usually good for about 72 hours, but he just kept breaking them. And you know, he came to court drinking that morning, guys. And the judge said, "You need to see the deputies outside." I mean, he reeked of vodka. I was standing beside him in front of the judge. And they didn't even put him in jail for drunk in public. They said, "When did you take your last drink?" And he's like, "Oh, 6 o'clock this morning." Well, let me tell you what this monster did to me. He was older than me. He knew I had an abusive childhood. I had been abused as a child by a family member. And he preyed on that. I never should have been allowed to date that guy. He was a little older than me. He used to come into my dad's bar. I worked at my dad's bar just fixing food and stuff in the evenings. He was a married man. I was about 16, almost 17 years old. He kept asking me out. And I knew he was married and stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go out with you because you're married. I mean, this guy, I'd be laying out in the sun up at the lake. He'd see my car and like pull up there and come over there and start talking to me, all this. He was about 15 years older than me. And finally, he came in the bar one day. He asked me out. And I was like, no, I'm not going to go out with you. This is like 3 days 3 days later. I told him like 3 days before that the same thing. I wasn't going to go out with him because he's married. So he comes in 3 days later and he asked me out. I tell him the same thing and he tells me that he has left his wife. Yeah. So anyways, the rest is history. My dumb ass went riding around and drank a couple beers with him and ended up in a damn relationship and marrying him when I turned 18. And the abuse did not start till about a year later, till I married him. At the time, I did not know that it was wrong for him to be in a relationship with me. I think it was wrong for him to, because for one, I was underage. He was 15 years older than me. And also something that he used to do is, everybody, I like greeting cards, I always have. He would get me greeting cards and sign it, "Love, Daddy." And my mom said to me one day, "That is so weird." And I didn't understand it. That was weird. It was so weird. I knew it was weird, but I never did say nothing about it. I just went along with, you know what I mean? I never did say anything to him about signing it like that. But yes, he would refer to himself as Daddy on the greeting cards. It was sick. He horrifically abused me. They say that, I've heard people say, a man can't rape his own wife. Well, I'm here to tell you, I beg to differ. They sure can, because it has happened to me. In the state of Virginia, I don't know now, but in the state of Virginia, it's not illegal for a man to rape his wife. It wasn't back then in the early 2000s. I don't know now. Thank you, drama. I remember one time, I've been through it, guys. That's why I don't like to get in drama and stuff. I've got bad nerves and stuff. And one time I can remember just praying on my knees in our spare bedroom just to die. I really thought everything was my fault. He would tell me I was a demon, I was ugly, I was fat, nobody's going to want to go out with you. He would throw up my abuse as a child and say vulgar, but I won't even repeat what he would say. Yeah. Maybe we should do an abuse stream, maybe on my other channel, because we need to get that channel built up. Maybe I can have some other people come up if they're comfortable sharing their stories. I hate being up here by myself all the time. Saturday night, me and Mike are doing JonBenet Ramsey case, and that's going to be great. Hopefully I can do it on this channel, but if not, we'll do it on the backup channel. I'm straight, a man can't rape his wife. What kind of idiot would say that? I know. They also told me there was no such thing as, let me think. They may have changed the law. It was harassment or stalking one. I can't remember, but it blew my mind. Like I said, this has been back in like 2000s. I hate him, guys, for what he done to me. He ripped up all my clothes one time. He sure did. He ripped up every sweater I had, everything. Something else that he would do, since we're talking about abuse, I don't care to share. I like to be open and honest on here. We live beside my granny. My brother had a building out back where he would park his four-wheeler. He'd come up there and get on his four-wheeler, go ride back in the mountains. He was always accusing me of sleeping with my brothers. I'll just tell you. He was. That's how sick and jealous he was. Never gave him anything, never done anything to make him think that. That's sick in my mind. He would take my bras and my panties and hang on the back door, hoping that my brothers would come up and see them. One time, his nephew was there, and his girlfriend, I actually went to school with her. His nephew, Jason, abused his girlfriend, April. He actually broke her arm. Thank God she left him. She's married to a doctor now. But he took one of my maxi pads, and I had bought the wrong kind at the store, guys. And I'd bought those super long ones. And he took one of those. It was a clean one. And was making fun of me in front of them. And took one and stuck it on the wall. I'm getting emotional. Let me catch my breath. Okay. I'm sorry. I usually don't cry when I talk about this stuff, but I have been emotional this week over my Google account, over that St. Jude's stupid shit and everything. Okay. So, yeah. I am safe and halfway happy, I guess. I don't know. I struggle with that a little bit. Oh, thank you, Mike. Oh my gosh, I did not mean to cry. I needed a napkin. Now my mascara is going to be all running. Let me get to my StreamYards here. I had a little towel here. Let me turn on my camera so I can see. Okay. Yeah, I don't mean to be a crybaby, guys. That's why I like to advocate for abuse. Abuse children, abuse women. That's why I put the number down there. Because I'm sure there is someone that watches me that is going through that or has been through it. And I don't know. I just feel that sharing my story might make people feel like, hey, I'm not alone. That's why these stories get to me so much, like the childhood abuse. I read that stuff and I feel like I can feel the emotions from those kids and stuff and the women, because I've been there, done that. I think I'm an empath. Gosh, my hair's looking awful. Y'all, I colored my hair. I don't know what the hell happened, what was wrong with that hair dye, but my freaking hair looks orange on top, and I am not happy about it. I'm going to have to go back and get some more. It looks worse on camera under this light. Under the light, it looks worse. But I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Anyway, let me get back over to my chat. Anyways, my first husband, his name was Jeff. He has a miserable life. He's the town drunk. I know some people don't like that term, but truth's truth. And my mom just told me the other day, she's like, oh, I just saw Jeff and he still calls you his beautiful wife. I said, I am not his wife. I have been divorced from him since I was about 25 years old. Okay. Now you can see me. Well, let me cut my camera back off. I finished my cigarette. Anywho, tomorrow I guess we'll get back to our regular true crime news. Today I just needed a break from reading about all those kids, and everybody's been talking about Marilyn Manson, so that's why I went with the Marilyn Manson this morning. I need to check and see what's going on with Orrin and Orson. Cancel out all the orange with the color with the opposite. Well, here's the thing. Hey, Empirical. I didn't see you in here. Is Tracy leaving? Bye, Tracy. I'm sorry. I probably missed a lot of y'all's comments to me this morning. I'm sorry. Oh, my worst ex is named Jeff. I hate him so much. Yeah, I do too. Glad you were able to escape that hard time in your life. Me too. Me too. Well, he beat me up in Pigeon Forge. I had left him, and he done that suckering me back in and took me on a vacation in Pigeon Forge and beat the shit out of me. And I had to call my mom after I was in the hospital a few days to come down there and get me. And then when I got back home, I left his ass and I didn't go back. After we got back from Pigeon Forge, I stayed with him a couple more days, and we went downtown to get some cigarettes. I was driving. On the way back, I don't know, every little thing I done pissed him off, and he reached over there and cow bit me. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Cow bit my, like, between my, on my leg, the side of my leg. And just so happened I had pushed in the cigarette lighter, them push in cigarette lighters in the car. And it popped out about the time he let go of my leg. And I took that cigarette lighter, he had a pair of shorts on, and I stuck it to his damn leg. He backhanded me, and I was healing up from my jaw being broke. He broke, just happened not long before that. And anyways, I left him after that day. Never went back. CC doesn't have power over you anymore. You're strong. You came out the other side. You should be very proud of yourself because you are a testament to others that they can succeed. Thank you, Cheryl T. Yeah, I let him have a little bit of power over me this morning. I never expected to get upset and cry, but I just got really emotional because I remember how embarrassing that was when he did that with that maxi pad in front of, people. Oh gosh, you're a Texas girl. Cheryl, you're probably packing heat then. I'm a Texas girl that knows how to use an equalizer. I I'm a firm believer in karma, and he is getting his karma. It's hard with PTSD, CC. It makes you relive it so much. I know it. And the way my mind is, I have been so upset, y'all, over my Google account. Like, I can't, it seems like something so little. But when I get upset over something, I tend to obsess over it. And then, with all that crap with St. Jude yesterday that's been going on in the community, it just really got to me. I broke down crying several times yesterday. Yes, he did try to sucker me back in the last time that I left him. Yes, he did, Empirical. And he would not leave me alone. He saw me at a gas station. He'd pull in, try to jump on me. That's how, and then I go get those EPOs. That's how I would get them because he'd just follow me around. One night, he was waiting behind my mobile home. I didn't have a street light. Jumped out on me, started his crap. I had a hard time getting rid of him, but I finally did that last time we went to court, and the judge is like, hey, you violate this one more time, I'm going to bring you back and give you a year on each charge. And they wrote on there, no third party contact. That meant like he couldn't get his brother, anybody else to call me. I can't stand a man who abuses a woman or thinks he can overpower a woman. Makes me sick. Hey, that family's messed up, and I didn't know it at the time. They had this big farm. They're a well-to-do family. They got like 13 kids. And his mom, my mother-in-law, bless her sweetheart, she passed away. She was a good woman. But I come to realize that her husband abused her too, my father-in-law. She was dying of cancer. She was in her bedroom in her hospital bed. And he went in there and had sex with her. And I did not find this out until after she had passed. And one of his daughters told me, my sister-in-law told me. She had somehow, I don't know how they found out about it, but they did. Yeah, the whole family's sick. He had and this is an old man too, he had a girlfriend within a couple weeks. Yeah, some old road hoe. Sick family. But they seemed like, I thought they were a good family because they were all Christian-like and stuff, which the mother-in-law was a good person. Some of the sisters and stuff, but I realized they were messed up. Some of them were alcoholics and just had different problems, different types of depressions, and I came to realize it's because of the way they grew up. He sounds like that Drew Peterson. He just did that to try to humiliate you. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't even look like if someone stopped by the house and they said something to me, talked to me, if I made eye contact with them while I talked to them, he would say I was flirting with them and he would jump on me after they left. Yeah. Oh, there's just been some drama. I don't even want to talk about empirical, but I'll tell you a little. And there's been some drama in the community about someone taking up money for St. Jude's and not doing what they were supposed to. Is it basically what went on? I don't even want to I shouldn't even have mentioned it, but yeah, it's upset me. When I look up to someone and I respect someone and they do something and it disappoints me, yeah, I get my feelings get hurt and just I don't know. I'm just sad about it all. Oh, Carolina Girl, there's tons and tons of videos about it. Oh my gosh, it's been going on for like 2 weeks. I've kept my mouth shut about it. I've not commented about it or anything. Nothing other than the whole situation is sad. I was just I don't know, trying to stay in my own lane. I'm so mad about the world. I'm going to try extra hard to make something right today. Yeah. You know what? When you get down the dumps, just say 5 things that you're grateful for. That's what I'm going to have to do when I get off of here. My mama taught me if they will abuse you once, they would never stop. So I would leave if they touched me in any way violent. Yep. That's the truth. Your mama taught you right. If they will abuse you once, they'll do it again. If they'll abuse an animal, they'll abuse you too. I always remember that. Sometimes well-to-do families sometimes produce some of the biggest weirdos. Just saying. Yeah, well, this bunch is weirdos. I mean, but you wouldn't think it though. They own businesses and are successful. That's the thing about it. And you don't realize how they're just dysfunctional, I guess. But at first glance, if you don't know them, you would not think that. You'd think, oh my gosh, these good country people owning a farm, going to church. Yeah, one time I was in church and my father-in-law, this is after my mother-in-law died, he was seeing this woman in church. Oh my gosh, it was Wednesday night Bible study. She got up and she was testifying something. And James was my father-in-law's name. He was sitting there. He's about 70 some years old. And they had an argument and broke up, right? All of a sudden, James says, "Is that right, Mary? How about when we was on Lover's Lane parked on such and such night?" I about died. And they started arguing right in freaking church. I got up, I went outside, was crying, of course, because I've always been an emotional, sensitive person, and I was mortified. My uncle went to that church. This was like just a small country church. Anyways, the preacher, he came outside and he talked to me for a minute and told me I didn't have anything to be embarrassed about, that um, it wasn't my fault. I would never forget that. It was kind of funny thinking about back on it. He was like, "Really, Mary? What about when we was parked on Lover's Lane?" I about died. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I appreciate y'all's support. Churches always have the weirdest people. I always remind myself church is for sinners. I stopped going a few years ago. I'm gonna have to pass on all that. Oh yeah, I used to at this same church. There used to be this preacher that would visit from a couple towns over, and he would always call on me to stand up and testify, and I cannot stand that. If I got something to say, I'll do it. I'm just not one of those people that likes to get up in front of the whole church and just start, sharing away. He knew that too. So I'd always have to stand up and say a little something. But after church, he always wanted to talk to me, always right up in my face. And I thought, you are a weirdo. He had the hots for me, is what it was. I'm not stupid. But I know preachers are humans too, and they make mistakes and stuff. But he made it very obvious. It was like, ugh, turned me off from wanting to go to church there anymore. I eventually stopped going. Oh, I love y'all too. Y'all are the best. In times we are in, it is easy to be overwhelmed by everything happening. It's a rough time. Yeah. Yeah, I have to remind myself, hey, things could be so much worse. I got to quit worrying about my Google account. It's just, it's a lot of time, a lot of work to lose and to have to start over. But if I have to, I will. I'm just a sensitive person. Um, I don't want to lose all my subscribers. I've worked hard trying to build my channel, but it will be okay if I do. It'll be okay. I'll survive. It's great to get to know your community, but yeah, going to have to pass. Yeah. Funny story. My daddy came home drunk one night, and my mama got on today, and he told her he would kill her. So she loaded a shotgun, gave it to a drunk man, and go for it, and told him to go for it. Oh my goodness. My granny back in the day, my papa come home drinking. And Betty, when my granny gets mad, my papa would he'd take off running. He'd always say, "Granny's on the warpath. I'm getting the hell out of here." Anyways, come home drinking. She was mad. She got out a gun and he took off running, and he was carrying his boots in his hand running, and she shot his boots out of his hand. True story. I'll have to get her on video telling that. But that was like back in the day. I lost my phone. It is blacked out. The stress is real. Yeah, I hope you find your phone. I hope I can get back in my account. Cheryl T, I told my ex-husbands that if he ever raised a hand to me, that he would regret it because he had to sleep sometime. Yeah. Hey. I had thoughts go through my mind about my ex, but you know what? I'm glad I just left. I'm glad, I didn't snap on him because it would have been freaking bad. Well, guys, I guess I'll get off here. I got Smokey scratching at the door. Thank you guys for your support. Sorry I was a crybaby this morning. Tomorrow we'll try to have a better stream. I was just, stressed and stuff this morning and didn't want to I didn't want to look at the true crime news and look at all those kids' cases this morning. But we'll get back to the true crime news tomorrow. Anyways, y'all have a great day. Again, thank you for your support. Be safe, be kind, and peace. And please say a prayer that I can get back into my Google account. Please. Bye, guys. Peace. Come in, boo-boo.